Okay, welcome to Layers of the Culture. This is going to be our album review of Smif and Wesson's new album, Infinity. Much long-awaited album. I don't think they've had an album in a few years, man. I think it's been a while for them.
I think the last one was The All, 2019.
Yeah, so, definitely been ready for... I don't remember the exact time, but I know it's been a while. So, yeah, I'm definitely excited for this one, though.
We might need to review that one, too.
Yeah, it's fun. They represent Brooklyn, but I think they got roots down here in the Carolinas too, actually.
Really?
So, yeah.
Did not know.
Yeah, I almost remember that. Like when they first came out in the 90s, I remember them making some sort of reference to having family roots down here. So, yeah, either way. We're going to get into this, and it's overall, I think it's a dope album. We're going to kind of rate the albums based on, instead of like mics, like the source, we're going to do like speakers. That's what's going to be our thing. So 1 out of 5 or 2 out of 5, 3 out of 5, 4 out, whatever. So that's how we're going to do it. We'll give you that rating at the end. But yeah, let's go ahead and start us off. Let's see. I believe the first track was called Infinity, wasn't it?
Yes.
So what was your take on that one?
Pretty straightforward. Intro, solid, straight Brooklyn. Taking Steel. Mm-hmm. Sorry, Taking Steel doing this thing, and I was about to say Taking Smif. I'm like, wait a minute, what? Right. But yeah, Taking Steel actually doing their thing on here. Pretty solid intro.
Yeah, I like it. I thought it was a good song to open it up with. It's a title track. And it felt like it was giving the vibes I got from it was we're not going nowhere. You know what I mean? You might think that, hey, they're just 90s guys. Nah, we are not going nowhere. We still got it and we can still do it. And so to me, this is a classic album. I would put it in the level of a classic. I loved it overall. And so, that was a great song to get us started. They talked a lot about just, the fact that they're here to stay and they're not just some fly-by-night group that you're going to forget about.
Yeah.
So, all right. So let's go to the next song. We got Moses Promise, I believe, right?
Yes.
All right. So what was your take on that one?
Strong intro to the second track. I like the soulfulness selection to the track. I believe, obviously, this is tied to their religion. Because I know Moses is a Islamic thing, right? It's kind of like not necessarily their God, but like one of the major prophets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we definitely consider Moses a major prophet. I mean, I don't think it was too much religious, but I think it was religious in some sense. Because we don't treat Moses like God or anything like you said, but he's definitely an important figure. So I think they're talking about like maybe more leaning toward that whole promised land thing. You know what I mean? Moses promised in that regard. But either way, go ahead. I didn't mean that.
Oh no, you good. I mean, it's pretty much a solid track. Like I said, as far as like the singing and everything, and then there's them rapping over it. Yeah, it's definitely. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, they give you the typical, Smif and Wesson flow. You definitely don't feel like you're missing out on that. Some rappers, the older they get, you're like, oh yeah, he ain't doing it like he used to, or she ain't doing it like she used to. But them, it feels like 90s Smif and Wesson. You know what I mean? So I felt like the track was uplifting. I also felt like it was one of those songs where they were saying we worked hard to get here. And so this is the fruits of our labor. You know what I mean? So that was a vibe I got from it. And, the beats, all the beats I think were dope. I don't think I heard one whack beat, you know what I mean, on this album. So, but yeah, we can, let's see if we can move on to the next track. Was that Namaste?
Namaste.
Yes, sir. Namaste.
Namaste here.
That's kind of the vibe that was on, you know what I mean? It seemed like that was aimed at the ladies a little bit more. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, I love that element of it.
Definitely grown and sexy.
Right, exactly. That's probably a good way to describe it. What else did you think about it?
Again, I guess they're featuring Sweater. He actually brings that grown and sexy vibe with the chorus. He kind of brings that full circle.
Yeah.
I felt, and yeah, man, just a great track. It's definitely something that you would play for your woman or in pursuit of, talking to a woman and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That I feel that's, it's an appropriate track.
Yeah, definitely, man. It definitely gave me them grown and sexy vibes, and it felt like in the '90s that was part of the formula. When you make an album, you would throw something, a little something in there for the ladies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it felt like that was they were on that vibe. Like let's give them the full formula of how we used to do it. So I love that. So yeah, and again, overall, this is a great album. I really encourage anybody who hasn't heard it to please listen to it. If you like Smith and Wesson, or if you just like hip hop in general, this is an album you'll love. All right, so let's see. The next one is Medina. Is that right, Medina?
Yeah, Medina. You know what I'm saying? The gods and the earth.
Medina.
That's
Medina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for people, I know people know, but for the youngsters, yeah, but back in the day in the hip hop, they like Brooklyn and New Jersey, they had different names of like the old world. So like Brooklyn was
kind of like Holy Land.
Yeah.
Names,
So Brooklyn was Medina, Staten is Shaolin, New Jersey is New Jerusalem. What was like Manhattan, the Bronx, and Queens?
So some people consider Manhattan Mecca, and then some people will say Bronx was Mecca because that's where
where it started. Yeah, that makes sense.
So I never really got into that whole. I feel like I guess it should be the Bronx because that's where it started.
Yeah,
but
Mecca.
There was a lot of Mecca references in Harlem too, though. So it's one of those things. But yeah, it's all about Holy Land. You know what I mean? Holy Land references and stuff like that. So that's all. But yeah, it's definitely my absolute favorite of the entire album. I love the beat. It just gave me a real hard bass line. It gave me lyrics. I felt like they was trying to prove we still got them bars. And then you bring in Pharaoh Monch. It's like, bro, he just took it to a whole nother level. That dude, I think he's the first alien in hip hop. Because there's a lot of people who, when they rap, they talk about how they like aliens or Martians and shit like that, like Lil Wayne and Eminem. Pharaoh Monch was the first. Trust me on that one. He's from a whole nother galaxy. So yeah, but what's your opinion on that song?
Yeah, definitely, man. Listen, that's self-explanatory. They went in, they conquered. The children on the track saying Medina, it kind of like brought this whole like it was kind of playful, but yet it's still kind of sinister. Like Medina.
Yeah, you're just not expecting what's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's like So
especially like the intro too, when they like la 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 la. I was like, yo, this is kind of like impending doom or something like that.
Yeah,
like, what are we about to witness right now?
Like they coming through with the guillotine, like
right. Yeah, chopping heads. So that's my absolute favorite song of the whole album. So that's dope. But yeah, you want to move on to the next one?
Yeah, Black Eminence.
Yes, sir. Yes,
featuring Prodigy of Mobb Deep, one of my favorite rappers. Rest in peace.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I think it was kind of a Black excellence type of song. Just talked about that Black excellence, and I felt like it was something for the people. Like, let's give the people what they want. This is something that hip hop heads and street dudes and all them would love. Let's give them that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So basically, Prodigy doing his thing on the joint. I mean, everybody, they did their thing on this. Yeah, man, just timeless rhymes from P. It was just, you know what I'm saying? I hate that Prodigy because, man.
Yeah, I mean,
our first set, our old podcast, when we first started it was around the time that we lost Prodigy.
Yeah.
2017 back in June.
Yeah.
And it was just like, man, like it was crazy. Yeah, it was crazy. It was a crazy time. But yeah, it's always good to hear his voice. His classical, because he just has that distinct and the rhyme and cadence. So it was really good to hear
Definitely.
that. So yeah, overall good track.
Yeah, definitely, man. And Prodigy's rhyme go perfect with the beat. You know what I mean? So I had no complaints on that one, man. That's a dope banger right there. All right, so we can move on to the next one, which was Chuuch.
Church.
We're gonna have some church. Now these two dudes practice Islam, but they're calling it church just because it's more of a spiritual song. So this is kind of what we were talking about when we were talking about Common and Pete Rock, and how Smith and Wesson had like a gospel type, religious type, spiritual type song. This was definitely that song. You know what I mean? It kind of tries to reach and hit your soul a little bit. So yeah, I love this one. Had dope spiritual vibes. What about you?
Yeah, like I said, it's definitely one of my favorite tracks on here. I really, like I said, I really kind of enjoyed this because it still has that feel of mom listening to this stuff cleaning, but it
Yeah.
also brings like that street element and stuff too. It's a really good blend. Jalissa does a great job with the chorus. Yeah, man, I just like you said, like we were saying about the Commons not version of this song, but like the type of,
Right.
I guess, when you
The
lack of a
vibe.
better word, genre type. Yeah, I really enjoyed these. I think they really do a good job, and they don't really get highlighted enough. And I think it could be both celebrated by young and older people, people that like hip hop and gospel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, facts.
So it's definitely one of those. Yeah, and like I said, they do that well. Actually, MC Light on her album has a song that was kind of like that too with Mary Mary.
Yeah.
And like I said, I like the way they do it because it's just and it to me for those artists to do that because back in the day where they were and now what they're doing now is actually like shows maturity and growth.
Exactly.
And yeah, I just enjoy this.
That's what I was gonna say too. It's just showing a level of growth, especially for guys like Tech and Steel. They always been street guys, and trying to get through the harsh, parts of dealing with the streets. You know what I mean? Trying to survive and all of that. And so it's good to hear them talk on such a spiritual level, saying, this is what we realized over the years. You know what I mean? This is important. To have some type of spirituality. But anyway, the next song I thought was dope too. Beautiful Trip.
Yeah.
So that one is, I felt like that was real nostalgic, kind of took you back. And then, it's like that childhood memories, memory lane, dealing with like you said, your grandmas and your aunts and your parents. And like you said, them cleaning up and blasting the radio and all of that. I felt real nostalgic on that one. What did you think about that
I
one?
got a little bit of a drug reference on that one.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, I think one of the lyrics was like, "Yeah, do like a mushroom trip." I can't remember.
Oh, okay.
But
I probably didn't even catch it.
yeah, but it's definitely soulful singing throughout. Um, I want to say it had like a little. The guy to me sounded like he was doing like that reggae type.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
But he was singing throughout the track. Um, but yeah, it brought an element. It wasn't. It was on the verge of almost being a little annoying, but it was just enough to like, okay, we're gonna keep listening because he's like, oh, I forgot how he did it, but
yeah,
I mean, unique voice, sampling on that. But yeah, it was a dope track.
yeah, dope track. I definitely enjoyed that one, and the lyrics just kind of took me back to my childhood, growing up in New York. So I was like, okay, the song is doing what it's supposed to do. You know what I mean? So. All right, so we can move on to the next song, which is "Enjoy Your Life." What did
Enjoy
you think
your
about
life.
that one?
Definitely enjoyed the sampling of Marvin Gaye on here. The yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's definitely chill. The piano on there is laced up nice. Hey, they doing their thing, Tech is still doing their thing. So it's a
Definitely.
smooth out beat, smooth out.
Yeah, I agree. I couldn't agree more. They're definitely doing their thing. They're still giving you the Smith and Wesson flow, tech and steel. It's almost like, you hearing them in the 90s again. You know what I mean? So They don't sound like they're aging or anything to me.
Mm-hmm.
And this one, you know, it was like it felt like they was giving a message of life is short. You know, just try to live life to the fullest. If you want to start a business, start it. You know, don't keep pondering on it and being skeptical about it. Go ahead and do it. You know, life ain't gonna be here forever. You know,
Yeah.
make the best out of what you got. You know, while you're here. So that's how I took the song. You know, and I love that vibe. You know what I mean? Because some of us need that wake up call. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Dope song, dope song. All right, so the next song is Shine, which featured Ralph Tresvant of New Edition. Yes, sir. And I thought he did a great job on that too. What did you think?
Man, listen, this is my favorite track on the joint.
Okay. Okay.
It's really sad that we didn't get this in the 90s.
Right. Right.
That was my first initial thing. And for good reason too, because again, these guys are street guys, and it's like, nah, we don't want no R&B niggas. And I mean, and then really too, you gotta think at that time in hip hop, it was kind of frowned upon of, you know, R&B dudes going to rap. And I mean, even though people were doing it, and you know, I'm not gonna sit here and say I didn't enjoy it, but for the most part, people was like, nah, we gotta be strictly hip hop. Y'all are doing all this R&B singles and trying to cross over and shit. But I really enjoyed this track. It was kind of nostalgic. It kind of gave me that, like you said, this is like New Edition meets Smif and Wessun type deal.
Facts.
And I really wish we got that in the 90s, because that would have been dope.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, you know, just to, you know, kind of, you know, go over that a little bit more. In the 90s, we did have a few, you know, hip hop R&B crossovers, but you had to really be careful about how you did it. You know what I mean? You couldn't just say, okay, let's put this rapper with this singer. Sometimes it wouldn't work. You know what I mean? Like Smith and Wesson did a song with Mary J. Blige, you know what I mean, which was dope. And then, you know, you had like Ghost and Ray jumped on the Jodeci song, you know what I mean? The Freaking You remix, that was dope. It just had to be done right. But it was, you know, a lot of people were just like, we don't want to overflood the market with too much of that. You know, as long as we get one here and there, that's okay. You know, so yeah.
I was gonna say honorable mentions, Tupac on the Machiavelli album using Casey and JoJo.
Yeah.
Also with Gangstar with what was it, Royalty on A Moment of Truth.
Oh yeah,
they killed that.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, they killed that. So but I really enjoyed this though. I really enjoyed this track. Ralph is you know, very incredible singer.
Yeah, he did his thing.
You know what I'm saying? He did his thing on that.
Yep, I enjoyed it as well. You know, just hearing Ralph Tresvant again. He was always like my favorite singer from New Edition as far as the vocals. Mike Bivins was always my favorite as far as just his personality, because you could tell he was like the street dude. You know what I mean? Mike Bivins was like, nah, dude, I'll punch a nigga in their face. Ralph Tresvant was like, you know, I'm gonna get all the girls. You know, I would just do a few notes here, and all of a sudden you're gonna be all over me. So
yeah, he was definitely the strongest singer. On this album, hands down.
Yeah, so I love that song.
He killed it.
And I like how they brought back the I Shine.
And you shine. Oh yeah, definitely. That
was dope. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
That's from the Mary J. Blige days.
Yeah.
So anyway, yep, that was a solid song. Loved it. Next song is one of my favorites as well. Just Stay. They had my man Conway on there. Conway the Machine.
Joint. Boom, 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 boom.
You know what I mean? So, yes, sir. What'd you think about that song?
Yeah, man. Look, Brooklyn and Buffalo in there getting busy. I mean, you know what I'm saying? That's what more can you say, man?
Exactly. Brooklyn, Buffalo. I mean, it's dope combination. I love the energy on that one. I felt like it had real high energy. And I felt like Conway was the perfect person to add to that song. You know what I mean? So Smith and Wesson always going to do their thing. But features, man, you know, they're good at doing the right types of features. You know what I mean? So I love that about them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love that song. That's one of my favorites. And y'all should go, you know, check that out.
Yep.
All right. Next one is On My Soul. You know what I mean? So that's a dope song. That one actually features Buckshot. I thought that was dope. What did you think about that?
Yeah, shout out to Buckshot. You know, not to bring that back up, but you know, when he got hurt, by the
Right.
tenants and stuff, that was just messed up, man.
Very
So
messed up.
I'm hoping that he's, I'm pretty sure he's back to 100%. But yeah,
Yeah.
we definitely wish him well wishes and stuff. But yeah, he does a good job. I mean, it's basically a boot camp clique, little family joint.
Yeah.
And yeah, they do their thing on this, man. They do their thing on my soul, man. So
Yeah, I mean, it felt like it was a song that was basically saying, "I got your back," and that's my word. My word is my bond. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So that's the kind of song I felt like it was. And I thought that the feature with Buckshot was dope. You know what I mean? He's one of those you could tell he's one of those guys that he would have your back. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
facts.
So yeah, and then the next song, let's see, "Heard About Me." Oh my God. This features the one and only Sean Price.
Pooh. Yeah, you gotta say it like you got like mush in your mouth.
Exactly. So Sean Price definitely did his thing. I mean, you can't expect nothing less from Sean Price. And the fact that he's a Brooklyn cat, along with them being Brooklyn cats, it was just a dope combination. Again, just a feature that just worked perfectly. Beat was dope, energy was dope, rhymes, all of that shit, man. You know what I mean? What else did you?
I also definitely like the reggae Islander influence with the vocals.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming that's Maverick Sabre.
I think so, yeah.
If I'm pronouncing the name right. But yeah, they definitely I enjoyed that over it because are they island people? Tech and Smith?
I think one of them might be Jamaican. I'm not sure, but oh, we got
I think that's
a little static. That's probably because I think it's a train coming by. Either way, but I think one of them might be Jamaican, if not both of them. But I'm almost sure they also got roots down south in the Carolinas. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we're gonna have to check into that. But yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, but I really enjoyed that because it kind of brought me back to the the Shining joint. When they do Boy Broly. Yeah. Exactly. I can't do the how you do is it patois?
Patois, yeah.
Yeah, I'm terrible at that. I'm not even on the front and act like I can imitate that shit. So
I used to be better at it when I was in New York because I was always around Jamaicans, so I was able to kind of emulate it more. But now that I've been down here a lot, I don't really see no Jamaicans. You know what I mean? So it's like a lot of them still up north. You know what I mean? So. But yeah, definitely a solid song. It's called "Heard About Me," featuring Sean Price, and you can't go wrong with that one.
Definitely not.
That. All right, so next song is "Elephant in the Room."
Elephant in the Room.
Yes, sir.
Listen, man, they get busy on this.
Yeah, definitely.
They definitely live up to the name of Smif and Wessun on this one.
Yeah,
for
man.
real. Like tech and steel teamwork is solid. I don't mean to take the it, but man, listen. Listen, man. Listen. If you don't listen to anything, listen to track 9, Shine, and listen to this one.
Yeah.
Seriously, they go in straight Brooklyn. Yeah, it's like I wrote down beats on some sneak up and get busy real quick type joint.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I think this might have been the first song that they released as a single, and it was dope. You know what I mean? I loved it. I love the beat, like you said, with the rhymes, they get busy. It's like them just reinforcing that, we the shit. You know what I mean? And I like how my man was talking in the beginning. He was like, "You fucking peasants." I was like, "Yo, my man's talking like they royalty, like you niggas peasants right here." So yeah, it was dope to me, man. I loved it. That's one you definitely should be listening to as well. Everything about that song is, to me, you know what I mean, just perfection. Dope beat, can't go wrong with the lyrics, concept, all of that. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, the last song of the album was called "Bad Guy."
Yeah,
and I love this one too. This one, to me, it felt like they was just them trying to have a moment of brutal honesty. You know what I mean? Like, yo, let me just be real with you real quick. You know what I mean? So that's the vibe I got from this. Beat was pretty dope. Rhymes was dope. So yeah, what did you think about this one?
Yeah, I thought it was a good closure. It was a good cool down from the last track.
Yeah.
The singing was locked in the track, but yeah, definitely like what you said. It was a bit of brutal honesty. Also, I think it was kind of like some of the things that people were saying to them.
Yeah.
Particularly like, oh, you're 50, you're too old to be rapping.
Right.
Hey,
Right.
you might need to just work a job or things like that. It's like, well, nah, we out here doing this. We're gonna do,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? But it also could be, um, talking to other people like, hey, it ain't nothing wrong, which I appreciate. There's nothing wrong with being a working man. Don't look
Right.
down on that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? If you earning a living, taking
Facts.
care of your family and stuff like that, that's a beautiful thing. You should not look down on that. So that's the way I took it.
Yeah.
Definitely a great outro song.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely a good song to close out the album. And again, the album's called Infinity. And I love the album cover. It just has the infinity shape there.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just a dope concept, man. I think it's them just saying, we ain't going nowhere as a group, and hip hop ain't going nowhere as a culture. You know what I mean? It's gonna be here forever. So,
So how many? Well, yeah, how many speakers? I was
all
gonna
right.
say how many affinity marks, but I don't want to do that. That'd be messed up. But how
Right.
many speakers?
All right. So for speakers, I'm gonna out of 5, with 5 being the best, I'm gonna give this. I'm close to giving it a 5, but I'm not gonna give it a full 5. I'm gonna give it like a 4.8, like that. I'll leave it at that 4.8. It's definitely close to perfection to me. So what about you?
I was going to give it a 4. I think the last album we reviewed kind of had a slight edge on it. I, I mean, because of Pete Rock. I mean, let's just be real. The production, and then Common's nice. Um, but this is a solid album. I think it's. I don't think it will. And when I say this, I don't think it will be classic like the Auditorium Volume One. I think it will be a hood classic. I do feel that. I think people listen to this and they'll go back like, yeah, man, remember Smif and Wessun did this. People back in Brooklyn, and then people that in their fan base are, yeah, we like that album. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think it'll be one of those amongst the people, which that's a good thing. But I think, yeah, I would give it a 4 out of 5.
That's fair. That's fair.
So that's. Let me see here. Let me pull out the old calculator here,
Yeah, for me,
aka my phone.
but yeah, and maybe I'll probably give it a higher score because I'm just such a New York guy in my mind.
Yeah.
I still got my New York state of mind, and I love the New York sound. It's the original sound of hip hop, and so I may have a little slight bias, so but I definitely think it's a solid album. And let us know what y'all think as well in the comments.
So overall, for going to 4 and 4.8, so this still gives it it's still kind of down the middle. So it gives it a 4.4.
Okay.
So
Okay.
almost 4.5.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll just put, matter of fact, let me kind of, cause yeah, I need to let me go back. I'm gonna just draw some speakers.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can.
You'll see them on the screen when I drop this. And once I work the magic on there,
Yeah.
I'll add some speakers to the joint. And we're gonna do more album reviews, so we really appreciate y'all, checking us out and listening to us. But we're gonna try to keep that as our standard when it comes to an album review using the speaker system of how many out of 5, with 5 being perfect, you know what I mean, or top notch, top tier.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So that's what we'll try to keep it and go from there. So we definitely got more albums to review. I was just telling Howie uh, that one of my favorite groups, Czarface, they dropped an album a few months ago that I missed and I didn't even realize it. It's Czarface and Kool Keith from Ultramagnetic MCs. So I think that's going to be a solid album to review. The name of the album, I'm trying to remember. It was Something about eating, time to eat, or something like that. I can't remember. Yeah,
you know me being a fat dude. You know that's my shit. No,
right. Yeah, man. I think it was something like time to eat, or we all going to eat. You know, something like that. You know, but we definitely going to go and do an album review of that one in the near future as well.
Oh, so real quick before we close out, one thing I will say that I got from both of these albums, I think all in all, they're both reflective. I think it actually speaks to both artists. Like, this is where we came from, this is where we are now, and kind of looking back, but still kind of going forward. Definitely, and also I think it does that for the listener as well. Like, hey, man, I remember when these guys came out and just time in the 90s and they're still doing their thing. And, I got a family now, or hey, I'm, working now. When I was listening to them, I was a kid, but now I actually got responsibilities. So it's actually a good reflective, and also I got these experiences.
Yeah.
I also got that from both of them too. I really enjoyed that as well, because I think the experience in them, and and also I will feel like their faith definitely played part in making these albums. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying this to be like, oh, the whole spiritual. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like using their faith actually, for both albums, kind of shaped and mold the album to make good quality work.
Yeah, facts. So yeah, we appreciate y'all checking us out. Let us know how you would rate this on a scale of 1 to 5 speakers.
Yep.
We'll go from there. Let us know in the comments, and don't forget, hit those buttons: like, share, subscribe, like, share, subscribe, like, share, subscribe. Brothers and sisters. Yes, sir. So for Layers of the Culture, this is your man Kurt, and this is
Howie.
And we'll see y'all next time.
Peace.